It's been a while that we got a replay. A 10v10 here. And since I'll be gone for a few days, I'll actually have to pre-record more than usual. And this is always an easy way for me to do that, especially during this horrible, horrible heat. If there's one thing, and honestly the only thing that I envy North Americans about, I don't know, it's that they have just AC everywhere, right? Unfortunately, that seems to be unknown technology for Europeans, at least when it comes to private homes. That really is something that I'm quite envious about. But it is what it is. I'll unfortunately survive. We're watching Hentai 90. What a name. In this 10v10, I presume it's tactical. And let me actually read out what they wrote. What makes it good? For the most part, alone in Hotel India against 2.5 players. Good showcase of how Mario 2 can completely turn the tides. Alright. Let's see what we got. So Mario 2 implies to me... Actually, I don't think we should go for neutral. Should we go neutral here? I think we should actually stay neutral. But let's double check. Then again, now we can... No. We're gonna stay neutral. What do we have? Eurocore. Okay, Eurocore unspec. You don't get Marta 2 and wheeled stuff in the same deck. With 10v10s is of course always a question of how much awareness do your teammates have, right? Obviously, you can actually communicate with pings to a certain extent, but it doesn't mean that everyone is paying attention or respects those pings or what have you. We got some frogs sneaking around. They have good autonomy, yeah. There's a few helicopters in the game that are Yakyonde most likely. What is that? An MI4, yeah. Some helicopters with low speed and low autonomy, like MI2s. Yeah, 440 autonomy and 200 speed, right? Which would be the same, I think, for the transport MI2s. Might sometimes actually have trouble getting, like, around the map, especially if we take the long way. So, we got VAP T20, VAP, Fox VAP. Yes, I mean, you save 5 points, but it's very spicy, putting your infantry CV in the 5-point track. That said, in 10v10s, you usually have more than enough CVs. A bit unlucky with those Lars tools, but they're not that great for dealing damage. What the fuck is... That is actually a good question. Holy. Especially because if they're sitting here out in the open, they're just gonna get like one shot. Yeah, and one guy just died from the explosion of the landed helicopter. Yep. I'll be honest, that is a very... There's another one back here. What? Okay, this is honestly kind of funny. What are those? The two misters. Okay. That is actually hilarious. I mean, it's not the worst thing to put man pads on the field on here. And it's honestly a bit underrated to put infantry on these mountain hills on the sides here. Especially long range AT, like Vampires or Erix's. You just wait here and it's gonna block line of sight from pretty much everything on this side. And then just quickly hop over the ridge, get line of sight on some stuff, and then hop back in. You will be in line of sight of quite a lot of stuff, especially here, but especially in 1 versus 1s, where you have a similar front line, you can get some cheeky side shots in. What I had here? That's just a UAZ. There's a TAD UK, so that UAZ CV here, pretty irrelevant. That's a 4-stack of Spetsnaz. Now by Montes on veteran, so that's a support player. Lars 2s are firing once more. Let's see how little it does in terms of damage. They're also like pretty much near max range, so they're gonna be pretty inaccurate. Yeah, very little damage. Oh yeah, okay, well those Spetsnaz stood no chance against grenade launcher transports. Like absolutely no chance. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, that is... yeah. That's the thing with Spetsnaz, right? They're either feast or famine. Either they just kill every kind of infantry squad you have, or they go up against 2 vehicles and just die, right? 2 WAPCs just almost killed 140 points worth of units. There you have it. That's why you really need to combine them with AT infantry. at least in forest fights. In town fights, not necessarily, because very often you can just break line of sight if they're bigger town blocks. But yeah. So we're focusing hentai 90 down here. Let's see what we got. A bunch of Palabranzi, 4 Palabranzi 90 squads, okay. Okay, so we have Fallschmiger, Rima, Legion. I don't know why you feel the need to use both Rima and Legion 90 and Fallschmiger 90. Not necessarily, not saying that anything there is bad, but I feel like that's 3 of your infantry slots, right? And surely it's nice to have man pads, ATGMs, but also like some very cheap infantry. But at the end of the day, it's still a tactical, so you can only buy so much, right? It's just full infantry plus 1 Marder 2. Legion 90 are gonna get absolutely destroyed here. Marder 2 will have to be careful that the Bubars are not gonna absolutely one-shot you, right? That said, if you can stay at long distance, the fire support is great. That's also the thing about a Marder 2. It gains comparatively very little by getting closer to infantry. All those high rate of fire autocannons, those, let's call them normal autocannons, they tend to have a much lower base accuracy, so from range scaling, they actually gain a crazy amount of DPS, especially like the basic Vitras or Marder 1s, right? But you already have 70% base accuracy. You come at Hardened or Veteran, depending on upvet or not, so your base accuracy is already at like, 70, at least 80, right, on Hardened. So you move like 200 meters and you have 100% accuracy. So they're not the greatest for forest fights. Plus, of course, the fact that they're very expensive. But they're just pretty much as effective. Against infantry, that is. Against vehicles, of course, you gain increased AP. Also, I have to pause here. They just got wrecked, right? This was basically just 4 Spetsnaz and the Spetsnaz crew squads, or 2. So I guess it was to be expected against Merkavas and such. But it also doesn't help that the 140 points worth of Spetsnaz did pretty much nothing. Palabranzi got really unlucky that that OF40 did not get hit there. They didn't lose line of sight, right? It was... I don't think they lost line of sight, even if they had lost line of sight at the last second. I'm pretty sure it would have still been good enough to actually get the hit in. Because they weren't on attack move by the looks of it. So that is an incredibly lucky automatic. Which hasn't fired once thus far. Where's... How much artillery... Oh, nice. How much artillery do they have? 2 Mistas. That's pretty much it. 2 HS-17 in the back. Ninja could... Yeah, I'm actually curious. Surely the Ninja does spot... No, it doesn't actually spot the MI2. Which obviously means the MI2 will not spot a Ninja either, because that one also has stealth. Okay, Marder 2 holding the line here, 2 more Legion 90. They're all quite cut up, thanks to the Marder 2. And a bit of VAP help. There you go. Don't underestimate 50 kills, even if it's just 1 or 2. Can do a lot of work. Oh, I think they were briefly using the MG against the Legion 90 here, I'm not sure. Because they opened up fire without a missile coming out. And they're dead. Marder 2 is just amazing for these distances, but when you want to push further, then you're really gonna get into the infantry AT range. Also, you have the Fallschmiger 90. Oh no, just 4 Fallschmiger 90. Jesus. Just sneaking about. You have Kading, Brücke, Pechtold, and Hensel. This is all just completely empty now. Red 4 kind of getting wrecked. More like wrecked 4, am I right? Amy Seals and Delta Force doing some stuff. They killed just some transports. Or I think one of those might have been a BMP-1 CV, to be fair. But that's not what we're here for. This just got completely rolled over. Blue 4 just... Oh my god, they have 2 T-72Ss just sitting. There's so many points in this area, right? T-80 UK, of course, but they have a Tunguska M and Ito 90. 3 Neva M1Ts. And 2 T-72Ss just chilling there. And some, other stuff like a Brachka, BMP-1 KT, you name it, right? Holy. Okay. Slowly pushing further in. Palabranzi should easily win against those Legion 90 from building. And there come the KBVTs. Yep, there you go. Just like 50 kills, do not underestimate KPVTs, man. What should be a 90? One of them should have been discovered now, although it is Jacob Day. Yep, definitely noticed. Paros, yep, that is correct. Delta Force spotted. HS-17s should win well if they get line of sight. And mob them up. That's a cheeky CV here. Oh, look at those tab 71s, man. They also have the late KPVT with 20% base accuracy, plus they come on. And these guys were not on attack move, so they're just gonna die. You really want to be careful. It's a bit annoying. You really, if you don't know what you're up against, especially in a 10v10, like literally what you're up against, because you don't know every hack. Thinking about it enforce is a bit rough. Because if you turn off your MG, right, which sometimes you want, obviously you're gonna make sure that you're not gonna die to like like 2 5-pointers or something that are engaging you at the same time as the infantry or stuff like that. But at the same time, if you then do go up against infantry and you don't pay attention, suddenly you don't have an MG firing when you're not paying attention. So that's a bit annoying, which is probably why you should actually stick them together and have like 1 or 2 have the MG turned off, but then you're susceptible to bombing. You know, it's a bit... You just gotta pay attention. Just gotta pay attention. 2 5-jamming are gone. Panzer Grenadier barely survives. 1 Legion 90 left, more coming in. I think the base Vabs have the Legion 90, and the T20s had the Rima, if I'm not mistaken. I'm definitely mopping up all the infantry here. Who got the kill there? Can't really see replays. Unless of course the unit vets up. The problem though is, once you have this, what are you gonna do? It's very, very dangerous to cross this entire open field. Bunch of Gennady sniping reinforcements. This got caught on time for the second squad at least. But is it gonna be panicked and just gonna die out in the open? Raven. Oh my god. Yep, dies. Okay. I was gonna be mad if that survived. Like 3 Nevas and an Ito 90. And the... Oh no, Prachka didn't fire. And the Tunguska. And the T-72 is still just sitting here doing nothing. Pajimika died in waters. That's a nice thing about 15 HP squads. You can literally just use them as botters, so they're gonna survive long enough for your fire support to, like your indirect fire support to fire. This guy's spotted by those Bersaglieri. Oh boy. I'm gonna be surprised if this has actually any damage. That was Lars 2 at max range, pretty much. Do not do that. Unless you're like really bored and don't care about supplies, it's not worth. Bark. This guy, dude, just barking stingers everywhere. It's so funny, actually. I'd like to see them split up, though. Ninja? No, Ninja's back here. The MI2 died, though. What are those? Strelatus? Man, 10v10 players are just built different. What T-72Ms are those? Okay, just the normal ones. There's, of course, a North Korean variant, which actually has more AP. I think that's pretty much all they have. A bit of a lull now. Apilas are emptied. Ooh, cheeky Igla ends. A10980. I like that plane. Helicopter, of course. SSF-90 just waltzing through. I mean, I said it's dangerous, but I guess if the opponent literally doesn't have anything to stop you, then I guess it isn't. Those Merkavas could probably just drive through. There's 2 T-72Ms that could maybe do something about it, but those Mr. Anderson. Those SSF-90s actually just doing whatever. Or are they gonna get the CV? Let's slow down a bit. They might not get it. Okay, 3 more Palvranzi and Yakokday and Yakyondays, the elite squads from North Korea. They're all on elite, by the way. So this must be a moto deck. No, Marines actually. Interesting. North Korea or Red Dragons Marines. Not something you see very often. AT incoming, RT incoming soon, okay. It's an interesting position for Senke. Longbow. Alright. When's gonna be the next fight? Mid? Oh, Alpine 90, they're just gonna get cut up. Anything coming for the T80 UK? That's rocket pods? Oh, interesting. Hold on, I gotta remember that. 2 rocket pods. I should remember this for Wargamers, like rocket pod in slot 1 and 2. Interesting. I think I'll literally never actually use that plane. It doesn't look too bad. A gun wouldn't be bad. Would be nice though, and a bit more speed. But it's really the time over target that's awful with 60 seconds. That was not worth it. Meanwhile, ton of infantry fighting here. Let's see. Honestly, Hentai should not stand a chance. However, this guy's messing up. That squad is out in the open. It's just gonna die very quickly. There you go. Yep, realized it, but realized it too late. I think that guy, yeah, the guy's in cover. That is admittedly something that can be very, very hard to notice whether something is in cover or not. While it's fighting an infantry squad specifically, where it actually matters, right? Yeah, the UK is firing up here. That's a cluster plane. Going for Udos Merkavas. Actually very dangerous. Oh, barely survive. They were not moving at all. What was the Legion squad died? Or was it another Rima squad? I don't know. There was the Shock squad. A French Shock squad. But all those powder bounds. I'm sorry that I somewhat missed it, but there's just too much happening actually. Marder 2 still alive. Gotta be really careful. All of these squads can one-shot the Marder 2. T-72S dueling with K1A1. K1A1 kills 1. Almost dies in the process though. T-80K down to 1 HP. T-72S is panicked. Wait, what? What was this aiming at? There was an aiming circle above the hammer. But there was nothing. Was it actually using fire precision for some reason? Longbow? I don't know what happened there. Oh, and Yakin, they are not focusing the Marder. You hate to see it. Oh, that Legion 90 has the chance to do the funniest thing ever. Oh, yes, please. I've been in this situation before and did not manage to do it. I think from the other side, but I remember there was something about the T80 UK where I was desperately trying to get a side shot and it just never happened. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on. I believe. Oh, lost line of sight. Lost line of sight again. Come on, fast move down with the Marder 2 to get a side shot in. Yes. And then finish it, and then oh my god. You'd love to see it. Only thing that would have been better is if the Marder 2 had actually gotten the kill. That would have been actual chef's kiss. But then Red Force just getting absolutely destroyed. Oh my god. Okay, I'll be honest. I was not looking at the KD. That is like an absolute stomp. Absolute stomp. Holy. Like both on ground and KD. Just crazy. Yes, Lars too. I'd really like to know what they actually got to kill there. I mean, to be fair, right? T80K USC, that was 300 points. Still at 670 points, just killing with infantry and infantry and infantry, right? Tons of infantry kills. They just tend to not be as flashy as like the T80K kills, but they still add up like crazy. especially if it's a bunch of high HP shock squads or elite squads, right? That cost like 30 points upwards. And with very little losses. Like what, 2 Fallschirmjäger losses? Oh, that's a different guy, playing Fallschirmjäger. Like 2 Fallschirmjäger, maybe 3? I wanna say. Unless a bunch of them got actually saved, which I didn't notice. A Legion or 2, a Rima or 2, not a lot of losses. That's a different Marder 2, right? Wait, did I miss the Marder 2 dying? No, where's the Elite Marder 2? Is it safe? Is it, oh, there it is. That's the one. Oh my god, yes. Oh. Oh. Ah. I'm sorry. That was just so satisfying. It can actually win against those type 59s. Just keep driving. Or maybe you shouldn't. I'm not sure. On the one hand, you get more AP, of course, to penetrate. On the other hand, you get closer for them to gain more AP and increased accuracy, which both they sort of lack. I think it's probably actually better to reverse at this point. Yeah, your panics are not too accurate anymore. Still though, that Mara 2 was an absolute hero. Okay, but I mean at this point, yeah. Hornet Harrier Tomcat. What a stomp. But honestly, I can see the appeal. Like, I'd be pogging out of my gourd if I was that player. The Legion 90, the Marder 2. So good. So good. But I mean, yeah. I think we can skip now. This is just gonna be a stomp. Is this gonna get captured? Is there a CV coming? I don't think there is. Oh, there is one. Are we gonna see getting captured before the game ends? I think we are. Absolute cinema. Floppy. Oh wow, I didn't even notice we were back there. Okay, that's one crazy stomp. I don't know if I've ever. Wait. Oh no, that guy surrendered actually. Okay, I was about to say I don't know if I ever actually was in a game as stompy as this one. Holy sweet mother of God. And I mean, yeah, look at that kitty here. Crazy. Actually, I mean, just straight up really well played. Obviously, it helps that when the other 70% of the map also wins like crazy, that in the long run tends to also have an impact on your game. And even before it started to have an impact, right? He actually did just really well against those players. What can I say? What can I say? Well, I know what I can say. I can say that it's time for Wargamble. Maybe we're gonna get to use the new Italian plane today. Okay. Second weapon is an MMG, so it's a vehicle. Or a helicopter, I guess? Although I don't know if there's any helicopter with an MG in slot 2. If weapon 1 is not a main gun, what is weapon 1? There's not a lot of. I guess it could be a different MG. Like it could be a K200. No, the K200 is faster. Anything else with 2 MGs? Could be. No, can't be a mortar or artillery because of the optics. ATGM carriers tend to not really have MGs. Autocannon vehicles not that often either, but sometimes they do. The small size is also very interesting. It probably is some kind of APC or something like that. Mech armored and more. I'm just thinking of like Blue 4 ATGM carriers, but they're all just M113s with the toes, right? What about Red 4? They're just PRDMs and the like. Man, this is not easy. What? The M60 PB. Yeah, it has like three. Yeah, it has this third MG here. It is in a vehicle tab. More expensive. And has horrible autonomy. Like one of those. No, that's a different slot. Always forget about that part. It's also the wrong price. It was just a horrible guess, I'll be honest. It's also really old. Like really old. Hey, what are we looking at then? I was also thinking like a Raketenjagdpanzer, but that's West German, right? Soviets? US? I get. Ooh, hold on. Nope. But I think it was a good guess. 20 points. 20 points. I just want to know if it has like a ATGM. It's not an ATGM. That is at least something. Recoilless rifle, autocannon. Okay, what autocannon could be? Wait, hold on. We know it's not in Eastern Bloc. What could it? Wait, is it like a? Hold on. Crash it? That is much faster. This is really throwing me for a loop. I at least want to know what nation it is. And so? It is a recoilless rifle. Is it? Wait, does the Ontos have an MG? Oh my god, it does. Alright. Poor. It does have less than 10 HP, so it's like a helicopter? VG, but probably a helicopter. Mechan armored is not that expensive. Let's go for a AH-109. Oh god, what's it called? A-109 AT. 6 HP. It's like a Lynx? Pretty fast. It is medium. Isn't the Lynx small, though? Or am I misremembering? I think the Lynx is small. Could be the C9 Ape. That's a Panther, but I think Panthers are medium. Oh, I'm so good. Okay, RPK or Wimple? I don't remember which one this is. I think that's like the one on the MiG-23s and such. Rocket pod or sniper rifle? LRX 73 or R60M. Oh my god, this is really difficult. Stealth size very small. Speed 23 ml. Nope. And those are gonna be. Oh, do you have the RPK? You know what? Let's go. Just in case, I don't remember if the East German RPK might have like a different name. For example, the AK-74 also does, right? Like they have an MPI or something in front of it. So I want to be safe. And I wasn't sure if the Czech, they have also like the Lada RPK, the Czechs. I didn't remember which one that was. But basically, spadochroniarce, Wisat Kari, and Mochits are pretty much identical. Weapon 3, rocket pod or sniper rifle. Okay. Can't be anything with sniper rifle here because all sniper rifle squads have at least very good stealth, I'm pretty sure. If not exceptional, because all sniper rifle squads are in the recon tab and they get at least very good stealth. Unless, of course, BGS or Grenzer, but they don't have sniper rifles. Rocket pods, slot 3. Let's go limb 6 bis. Size very small. And here we're gonna go for... It's basically the same, more or less the same thing. 2 guns and then the rocket pod. Those are gonna be reserviste. Those can be base chasseurs. R60M. 23ML, I think the... Oh, base R60, not the R60M. Right? Yeah, base RC. I chose the wrong ML. Of course I did. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. I could have gotten... Oh, that's annoying. Come on, Dutch German core. Polish 88 to 94. Autocannon strength. Strength. Okay. Commandosi. Marinier. Maybe I should have gone Corps Marinier 95 in there. Hey, Byung 90. Okay. Command. Fu. Weapon 2. Heiler. What is the T-set? They have it like an MD or something. Weapon 2. Autocannon in Poland. The Limbus again, maybe? That counts as an autocannon, no? It does. Command, very, very new command. Oh, that is actually interesting. T80 UK? I'm not even sure if that is that new. Aslav should be. Very new with autocannon in slot 2. Huh. Moderna. What? It's 95. Oh, the Marder 183 in the Bradleys. Okay, yeah. Oh, that's actually... Oh, yeah, the UK is that new. Never mind. I mean, the rest was relatively easy. Ah, the BMP2. I always forget about the BMP2's also having IT gems in slot 1. Oh well. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.